Kevin O'Leary says that he sees those concerns getting fixed in the next 12 to 18 months, and what was Bitcoin's biggest problem, he says, is now becoming its biggest opportunity. And as he sees it over the next decade, Bitcoin for sure will be outperforming the performance of the S&P 500. But here's what he had to say about all those ESG concerns and how he sees that battle shaping up.
You know, it's both a huge problem and a massive opportunity. I prefer to look at the opportunity. So here's the setup. Here's what happened. I work with institutional clients and sovereign funds, pension plans. I'm constantly working with them on a lot of other projects that I'm involved in. I have investments in many, many different financial services companies. So I'm in a constant dialogue with them. And as the excitement, if you want to call it that, or the noise, as Bitcoin was passing through $55,000, $60,000, I started to ask these institutions, because I know their allocations, and most of them are 5% weighting in gold, for example. And I'm asking them, look, are you going to get into crypto? If it is crypto, what are you going to do? And what's the allocation going to be on a mandate basis? So let's say they're running $1 billion mandate. That's not uncommon for a sovereign fund. Here's what they said to me over and over and over again. We would love to put a 1 to 3% weighting into Bitcoin. The only one we're interested in is Bitcoin as a property, not as a currency. So the same as buying land or a building. However, we are now subject to ESG committees and compliance committees that are involved in things like, ethics, human rights, all that. And the asset has to get filtered through both compliance and ethics committees. Then we can allocate. I said, so what's the problem? They said, huge problem. ESG on Bitcoin. The majority of it is mined using non-sustainable forms of energy, primarily coal, for many of the miners that started the journey in Bitcoin 17, 18 years ago. Yes, it's a problem, but think of the opportunity. If we could blow through the log jam, solve this problem for the institutions, that's $1 trillion worth of buying power right there. So if you want to see Bitcoin achieve $100,000, $200,000, $250,000, $1 million a coin, you got to have the institutional player. Everybody in this hall today is incentivized to solve this ESG problem. Everybody, every single person, for that singular reason alone. The question is how. Now, there are two sort of thought streams on this. One is to tag coins green, not green. And a lot of people don't like that because then the currency is not fungible if you're trading as a currency. You make one coin, different than another, that's a problem. The other is to somehow decide as an investor you're going to buy a sustainable miner that's using hydro or using solar or maybe, an energy source like wind that you can say is completely sustainable, and just buy that miner and hold the coins on the balance sheet in perpetuity, which seems to be of great interest to sovereign funds.
Yeah.
So I'm going in two directions. I'm trying to get a software solution so that we can tag, why not somehow give an identification to that coin, so at least it's sustainable in one way or another. So the industry is trying to solve the problem. I'm trying to be part of the solution. I'm an investor, but I know with certainty I cannot own coin that was not mined sustainable. There are 3 private miners that I'm in discussions with that are looking for capital to build out wind and solar. Of course I'm interested in that. And they're one of them's in West Texas, there's another one in a different geography, in a different country, one in Europe. My strategy there is to simply say, look, okay, what do you need? I'll be an investor. Let's say I end up with a third of the company or something. I want to be paid back in coin. I don't want fiat. I'm an investor. I want a distribution in coin, and I'll know with certainty that that coin was mined sustainably, and I'll never sell it. It'll be just property. I think we will solve the ESG issue on Bitcoin in the next 12 to 18 months. And I think over the next 10 years, the Bitcoin asset itself will beat the S&P. So if you're thinking about a 7 to 8% average over a decade on the S&P, I think Bitcoin would be 300-400 basis points over that. I really do. I just think that the minute we solve the institutional ESG issue, Katie, bar the doors, because people don't understand. The majority of the world's investments are in the institution and the sovereign fund. I mean, that's where the real money is. And that, for this conference, is the real opportunity.
Before we continue, help us by smashing that YouTube like button and subscribe now to this channel. This shows the algorithm that you value the information, and it helps us spread this message. Sharing is caring. Please like and subscribe now. Thank you. And now, let's continue.
This time in an exclusive sit-down with Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz, one of those voices increasingly turned to as an expert in this space as he stacked billions of dollars through Galaxy Digital, the company that he runs, and says an ecosystem company around all the opportunities in crypto.
Well, listen, first of all, sustainability is a big issue for the whole planet, not just for the crypto industry or the Bitcoin mining industry. And when we look at it in context, I think our community needs to do something just like every other community does. Traditional banking, YouTube uses 2.5% of all electricity. There's also utility from the Bitcoin blockchain. It costs a lot to mine, it uses a lot of electricity because it was designed that way. If we want something to secure trillions of dollars of wealth, you don't want a guy with a pop gun, right? You want a robust system. And so I think it's inherent on the communities, the community needs to be responsible to move our industry, like all industries, towards a greener future. And I think you're going to see all kinds of initiatives come out soon. Listen, we decided at Galaxy that we wanted to be an ecosystem company. And the thesis was, let's take our own money. It started as my family office, and it's now a public company. Our own money, invest in the coolest projects, the cutting edge technologies, in coins, in custody solutions, you name it, we're trying to invest in it. And we want to take the understanding we learn and then transmit that to our clients. Our clients from the investment banking division, our asset management division, our sales and trading clients. And so what I found is everybody who enters this space goes on a similar journey. They start with Bitcoin and say, whoa, this is pretty cool. And they might have different opinions. Is it going to be digital gold or decentralized money? And then they're like, well, what's that Ethereum thing? And as they go down this path of understanding how this ecosystem lays out, we couldn't have NFTs without Satoshi. Like, a lot of the artists don't think they're Bitcoiners. They are. Everyone's a Bitcoiner in this whole ecosystem because Satoshi's white paper gave us this brilliant, kind of one-sentence takeaway. It was the first digital signature you couldn't counterfeit. Total crypto market cap, that's Bitcoin and everything else, is about $1.5 trillion. That's 30 basis points of total global wealth. 30 basis points, nothing. Listen, for that to shift to 2%, 3%, which I'm fundamentally in belief that it will, you need institutions. They own all the money. And so Bitcoin is still a 95+% retail dominated ecosystem, maybe a little less, maybe 90%. But as institutions are slowly moving in, they take time. They don't wake up one night and say, buy me 3 yards of Bitcoin. I mean, unless they're Elon. Right? They put a little in. They do the same thing everyone else has done in this thing. They put something on the board, so they start understanding it more. Then they get more confidence. And what you'll see is higher prices beget more people entering the market. The way markets work is when energy pushes them up, supply responses happen. What happened in 2017 is everyone thought everything was Bitcoin. Litecoin was the poor man's Bitcoin, right? Ethereum was the better Bitcoin. Floyd Mayweather coin was the boxing Bitcoin. And so you had this giant supply response which collapsed prices. This time around, we've learned some, but not enough, right? You can differentiate the type coins, right? There's store of value coins. I'd put Bitcoin in that thing, but I'd also put Litecoin and Dogecoin. And I think those things pull away from Bitcoin.
What to do in such a situation? Inform yourself and keep your financial education strong. We from the Compact Group offer our loyal subscribers a free educational portal with first-hand monetary, financial, and economic knowledge. Enter our invite-only Insider Club by clicking the link below. You will get access to first-class information far earlier than the rest. We have prepared a special deal for all our members where you can access a giant pool of Robert Kiyosaki's financial wisdom for just $1. To find out more, simply click the link below and join our Insider Club absolutely free. But there is more you can and should do. Build up several streams of income. More and more people realize that they have to take their future in their own hands, but they don't know how and where to start. We from Compact offer our Insider Club members unique opportunities. Strengthen your financial muscle and get the edge. Click the link below. Become part of our free Insider Club. No financial obligations. But there's one important thing you have to know. You have to become active. So do it now. Become active and see you on the other side.